Tomorrow will be a year to the day, the first of the 9 major fires that broke out in the county. They would burn for 9 days, torch thousands of acres, and force more than 100,000 San Diegans to flee their homes.
Those fires burned from Camp Pendleton to Alpine, Escondido to Carlsbad. Even places once thought to be safe were not. Nancy Aziz begins a series of special reports on the devastating siege of fires that swept through much of the county. And tonight she gives us a firefighter's perspective.
When it was all over, the May firestorm had destroyed 26,000 acres, 65 structures, and cost nearly $30 million to fight. Today, we take a look back through the eyes of one firefighter whose job it was to coordinate what was the largest aerial response in San Diego history.
I am on the south end of the fire.
Conditions were surprisingly explosive for many seasoned veterans, including myself.
May 13th, 2014, near Rancho Bernardo, construction crews accidentally start the Bernardo fire. Cal Fire Division Chief Ray Cheney led the multi-agency response.
What was shocking about the Bernardo fire is the burning conditions being so extreme and so explosive so early.
Fierce winds in excess of 60 miles an hour propelled the flames through tinder dry brush. Firefighters had known the winds were coming and positioned equipment ready to go. That would help them gain ground quickly on the Bernardo fire, but by the next day, 8 new fires exploded around the county.
The number of fires were quite amazing. It was a fire siege.
The Poinsettia fire in Carlsbad was first in that siege, burning in an area that many thought would never burn. Hours later, it was the Cocos fire, both large, fast-moving fires. More firefighters and equipment from around the state poured in to help. By that time, Cheney was reassigned, needed to coordinate the many military aircraft called to assist.
On the Cocos fire, I had 15 helicopters in the air simultaneously, so many helicopters in the air that at some point in time I actually had to pause everything and reset it just to maintain our airspace and safety. At one point in time on the Tomahawk fire, we had 27 helicopters in the air. I mean, I saw a line of helicopters as far as I could see fighting fire.
It would be the largest aerial assault ever in San Diego. In addition to the military, San Diego Fire Rescue's night-flying helicopters came to help, as did a DC-10. Add to that Cal Fire's aerial resources. Cheney describes a delicate dance in the sky.
We'll have what we call virtual fences. We'll use mountain ridges or mountain tops to say, you're okay to fly the fixed-wing aircraft on this side of the mountain, but don't go across this side because we're going to be running helicopters all over here.
While the fire siege took a tremendous toll, Cheney says the air attack likely helped keep it from becoming far worse. He says he's still stunned by one thing.
Honestly, I'm amazed nobody was killed, both civilian and or firefighter.
Tomorrow we continue our series of special reports on the May firestorm with one family's story of survival they say is no less than a miracle, and how complete strangers stepped in to help. Nancy Aziz, San Diego 6 News.
Today we continue our special series on the May fire siege with one family's journey from ashes to recovery and how strangers helped them rebuild their lives. Nancy Aziz reports.
After the Poinsettia fire claimed the Payne family's Carlsbad home, it wasn't so much what people said they found consoling, but what someone wrote.
It says we cannot escape the tragedies that arise in our lives.
An anonymous stranger had penned this simple message of hope and left it taped to a shovel in the ashes of the Payne's front yard.
Sometimes the worst situation brings out the best in us and others.
I wish I knew who it was that did that, because I mean, I would just give them the biggest hug ever and thank them, because that really, really touched our hearts.
And I says, who left it behind? That is the most precious thing I've ever seen.
The letter, signed only with initials GB. It wasn't the only mysterious gift they received after the fire.
Well, we thought Rocky was gone with the house.
The family's dog Rocky had been home alone that day. No one could get in to save him. By the time the Paynes were allowed in, they found flames had devoured everything except for one tiny square in their backyard.
Then he came with his tail wagging, and it was great.
This amazing picture was taken as Rocky was carried away to safety.
Everyone started screaming and crying and pretty much almost collapsed. We just couldn't believe it. Like, there's no way a dog could have survived through that, and he did. I think God saved him, and that's what kept us all kind of sane, I think.
Rocky had third-degree burns that required skin grafts. A local vet performed the surgeries for free, and other strangers stepped in.
So many people donated clothes and different things to us that really helped us out.
All that support helped the Paynes recover. Their home has almost been rebuilt. And that mysterious letter?
Yeah, right when you walk in the door. It's going to be the first thing that we're going to hang up in this house once it's built, because it's so amazing.
A reminder of how acts of kindness can be so much more powerful than even the most destructive flames. Nancy Aziz, San Diego 6 News.